This week's episode is sponsored by everyone's favorite real estate closing attorney, the Hawes Law Firm.
With locations in Suwanee, Tucker, South Atlanta, and offering mobile closings, the Hawes Law Firm can accommodate all of your residential and commercial real estate needs.
Their full legal staff and knowledgeable attorneys set the tone for all of our clients' luxury closing day experiences.
If you're looking for a preferred closing attorney that is flexible, mobile, knowledgeable, and creates a one-of-a-kind experience, make sure you put the Hawes Law Firm on your next contract. Welcome back to another episode of Real Talk Atlanta. We are your hosts, Nika W.
Taisha Renee.
I'm Ashley LeRae.
River the Realtor.
And we're back
With another one.
With another one. Hi, ladies.
Hello,
Another one, thank
Good
you.
morning, Grand Rising.
Good morning. Before we jump into the episode, how is Q4 treating you guys?
Q4 is... I've already moved on to 2023. Thank you. Q4 was fun. It's still fun. But
It's a video
we're in
going
the
around
future.
with this girl on like a tilt-a-whirl, and she's like, like screaming, and it's like, how's life treating you right now? And she like, like she got
That's
the same vibe
Q4.
as me. Actually, she is doing that.
How's Q4 treating you?
It's good. It's pretty good. I feel motivated. Feel like a lot of things are happening. I've done let go a long time ago. Listen,
Not let go.
whatever happens,
What's for you,
happens.
what's for you.
I know
You're
that's
you're
right.
I have to remember.
Let it go.
Right.
Let
I
it
was thinking
go.
Keisha Cole.
Not Keisha Cole. Oh
I'm
my
dead.
God.
We sound defeated. No, I do want to say this. We all killed it this year. It's just the end of the
Oh,
year,
seriously.
y'all. We're
Yeah,
getting
so
a little like, you know,
burnt
it's the
out.
holiday. We trying to have them
Yeah.
low vibrational plates.
Yes.
But we're good.
We're
Yeah.
here. So we're grateful. We're around
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, so we're definitely thankful. But today's episode, I'm super excited about it because we're talking to our buyers again, not just
Love our
first-time home
buyers.
buyers, but to all buyers because
Period.
I feel like real estate changes a lot, and there are a lot of myths that are still going around till this day that people won't just let go, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, as your favorite real estate advisors, we here to unbunk these myths and give you guys the real.
Mhm.
I'm bucking
Okay.
this.
Unbunking. Let the unbunking begin.
I love that.
So, the first one is the most popular. It's about down payment. So,
Mm.
the myth is down payment has to be minimum 10% of the sales price.
It was all a lie.
It was
That is
all a
not
dream.
true.
That is not true.
Fake
news.
That is not true. I'm not sure where that started.
Mhm.
But the minimum down payment right now that is set is a 3.5%
Mhm.
on your home loan. There
Mhm.
are other programs that are there to give you less than that, however, very few. But the minimum down payment is 3.5%.
3% on
3%.
conventional.
Right,
So
3% on
FHA,
conventional.
3.5% conventional, anywhere from 3 to 5%. Now, in some instances, you will have to pay,
Mhm.
a 10%. Like we just mentioned on a previous episode,
Right.
bank statement loans, entrepreneur loans, depending on your profile, sometimes it will require, but at minimum, it'll be a 3%.
Yeah.
And I
Right.
think he brought up something good. Where did it come from? Now, I don't know this to be true, but I have a
Right.
theory. I feel like at a point in time, right, they were trying to make it so that home ownership was not attainable. And I think
Mhm.
the only way to make something seem not attainable is to put a parameter on it that we cannot reach, right?
Right.
What are the odds that people are walking around with 10 and sometimes I even hear 20% as a
2%.
norm? You
Mhm.
figure $300,000 at 20%. My math is not mathing right
Mathing
now,
at
but I'm
all.
telling you, well, no, it's
It's too
$60,000.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't make that in a year's time. So I
Right.
think when you put that on there, it makes a lot of people, especially people of color, minority, like, oh, I can't afford that. I can't do that. And that is what ultimately started that shift in, we can't own homes because we can't afford it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's fake news. Use your first-time home buyer loan. Use your 3.5% down or 3% conventional
Mhm.
to purchase a home. It's very attainable.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
there
it-
are programs, like you said, like 100% financing where
Right.
you don't put any money down, or even the Closing the Gap program we talked about where you're putting 1% down. So there are options out there. But of course, as we're advising you, we always recommend to have 3% saved because
Right.
Yeah.
there's a lot of other costs factored in there.
Right,
Mhm.
that's there, and not just to assume, that home ownership is not attainable. Like, ask
Mhm.
those questions.
Mhm.
Reach out to a real estate agent. Make sure that what you're hearing is true, because most people could be your grandma, which
Yeah, stop
purchased
listening to
in
y'all
19
cousins. Come on now.
Okay,
Okay,
who purchased in
like-
1995.
Or who haven't
Yes,
purchased
baby.
at all.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that comes to the second myth, which is you have to have a 700 credit score for you to be pre-approved.
No.
I literally had a
that would be
consultation.
good.
No,
That would be good. That would be
Yeah.
That would be great. But it is not the minimum requirement, which is
580
580 on an FHA loan. So I did have a consultation where my client was like, "Well, I have a 680 credit score. I'm not sure." I'm like, "Girl, you are ready.
You are ready. Let's get some.
You are ready. Let's start it. Let's start it." So no.
application now.
Yeah,
Okay.
seriously. But always keep in mind, the better your credit score, the better the
better
interest
it
rate.
is.
So if you have
Absolutely.
a 580, yes, you can purchase a home, but it's going to cost you some money
Right.
because the interest rate is going to be a little bit higher for you. But if you have that higher interest rate up toward that 700 point, up or 600, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
then your interest rates will be better.
And also keep in mind too, your mortgage credit score is a little different than like your average consumer credit score. So if you log on to like Credit Karma and it says that you're at a 580, when you do a mortgage application, it may be like a 570, a 560. It tends to be a couple points lower, but it's always best to keep it as high as possible. So.
Yeah, I feel like people pull that stuff off their like credit card app or like their mobile banking. I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes they be giving y'all a little bit more grade.
Right.
They like, I just pulled it yesterday, it was a $7.99. Why is it pulling $6.20? I'm like, girl. But no, I think it is really important to know. Like, I try to get people at the sweet spot of 620.
Yes.
But you do not, to be in the 700s is not even, I don't see it a lot. And that's honest. I think a lot of people are in that mid 600s. And those are the people buying homes. I just think that, again, it goes back to being attainable, right? The 700 credit score is like,
Great.
especially if you're grown with bills and you done been through some things on your credit, like a 700 is like top tier for sure. So keep it in the sixes. I say 620, but you can definitely do it with a 580.
Yeah, I say 620, 640.
Yes.
Only, especially if you're interested in like down payment assistance, you don't have the money. Those programs sometimes require a little bit higher.
Right.
So down
Right.
payment, you need
You're going to be in a
640.
better position.
Yeah,
position
right.
as
To be,
well.
yeah.
The higher your score, the lower your interest rate is going to be.
Right.
So.
Absolutely.
So that goes into like home ownership and when people are applying.
Mhm.
And because of that myth, I feel like it leads to our next myth, which is a lot of people think that they have to pay off all of their debts in order
To purchase.
or for it to be, like a little better for them, when usually it's not the case. You kind of like have to go through that pre-approval process, talk to the lender and see what is going to be better for you. Is it paying all of your debt or keeping your savings? Because my client just did that. She took all of her savings for her down payment and paid off all of her debt.
No.
Wow.
Yes, and it's like, what?
So now she don't got no money.
Yeah, it's now you don't
Exactly.
have no money, and then those things, because the lender is really gonna get the monthly
Yeah, with
payment
your
of all
with-
of those things. So it wasn't really necessary, and then she kind of like shot herself in the foot.
We have to bring my favorite
Yeah.
saying back. At the end of the day, it comes down to your debt to income. So what, ladies? If you want to keep it P,
Keep
keep it at
43.
43. You don't have to pay out all your debts, but you want to make sure your DTI puts you in qualifying range.
Right.
Yeah.
So 43% on the DTI versus 0%. I mean, it's great to have no debt, but that doesn't help your credit just boost up, which everybody thinks. Don't do that.
Right.
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 I had a client who paid, she was thinking about paying off her car in order to get her DTI down.
Mhm.
And I was like, whoa, let's not get too hasty. Because if you do that, there could be a chance that it doesn't even like affect your DTI that much. Because of course, if you have like less than 10 car payments left, they don't count that anyway.
Mhm.
So I was like, don't just go off paying stuff and you don't know how that's going to affect you, because not all debt is necessarily bad when we're talking about
Absolutely.
that. Sometimes it's good to have something on like your credit history so they can kind of get a gauge of like how well you are with paying stuff
Yeah,
off.
paying on time.
Yeah, exactly.
Paying
I would
on
say
time.
get advice first, and because
Mhm.
when they're on their credit, they'll know like what's hurting you, what you should paying down. Like I'll say before you even do that, that's why I tell my clients, let's talk to the lender.
Right.
Let's have you do an application. Let's see what's going on, and then from there she'll tell you exactly
Exactly
what to
do.
pay
She'll
off.
be like,
right.
pay off 1,000 on this credit
Yeah,
card. It'll get your score to
yes.
this. Like
Because
they'll
they
tell
see
you a plan.
everything. And
Yeah.
student loans too. I think
Yeah.
a lot of people think that student loans may really hinder them. Because I mean, most people, who doesn't have student loans, right? If you went
Me.
to okay, well, a lot of people.
None
I
of
feel
them.
like,
Yeah, we do that
must
all
be
the
nice. Must be nice. I'm waiting for Joe to get rid of mine.
Wow, you'll be waiting forever.
Right. But I definitely think a lot of people think that if they have student loans, they can't get qualified for a home, and that's not the case either.
Yeah, especially if you're on a payment plan, then
Mhm.
Yeah.
you're on the most
On an income based.
Yeah,
Make sure you're on an income base.
Okay, so then the most surprising myth that I've been hearing about.
What are the people
What?
saying?
Listen, fall and the winter is like the worst time to purchase.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, I hear it too. I know it leasing, right? You know, I'm from Chicago, as clearly stated on every episode of this podcast. But like during the wintertime, nobody wants to move. Like we really go through some real gruesome winters. And I know it affects leasing, but I think that a lot of people like to buy because I think during this time, like people are ready to just get it done, get it over with. Sellers are more inclined to like, okay, let's take what we got on the table. Then I feel like in the spring months, you know, their kids are still in school. This right now, the kids are on break. I just think that a lot of people say that. I think depending on your demographic or like where you are, it kind of makes sense with just the timing. But that is also very much fake news, and I hear that a lot.
There's always a good time to buy.
It's probably one of the best times because the market isn't so busy. But I do understand, like in the fall and winter, you have so many holidays, and you don't want to be moving and shifting through Thanksgiving and Christmas. But you know, if you time it out correctly, you can be in your home before those major holidays.
Absolutely,
definitely. I think it's a great time. Like a lot of sellers are typically more motivated.
More flexible.
Exactly.
They're more kind with the holiday season.
Exactly. More gracious. And even new constructions. We mentioned this before. Yes. A lot of builders are just literally throwing incentives.
Because it goes with their marketing. It goes with their marketing, like enjoy the holidays.
Oh my God.
And things like that.
I got one that said fall into this new construction this season. I'm like, okay,
y'all get it. Right. Because they're trying to meet that quota for the end of the year. So whatever they haven't sold, they got to push it out. Right. It's messing up their numbers. So go ahead and push it out.
I think it's the best time. You know, you have less competition, the most incentives. You know, you want to have something new. You know, like, you know, my Christmas gift, I just bought a house. It just sounds better.
Because I feel like in the summertime, people be having too much time on their hands. Now they want to get in the market, get all busy, crafty and stuff. Like, I'm going to wait until y'all are so consumed with the holidays to buy my house and give me a little bit extra. So I definitely think it's
right. So when it comes to like timing when purchasing with a home, like yes, it's important. You definitely need to know the seasons where you need to buy and sell. However, fall and winter is definitely still a great time to buy. And speaking of timing, another myth. It's a lot of myths that be stopping y'all from buying and doing real estate. And that one is you have to wait for the market to crash to purchase.
They love.
And it's
like to crash.
It doesn't make sense to me. Why would you want that? Right, that is the worst time to purchase.
I think if I go on my email right now and typed in market to crash, literally I would have 30 emails because I feel like everybody thinks that they know the market. They know what's gonna happen. I lived through 2008.
Well, baby, we in 2022.
Hello, it's new. It's the new dawn. It's a new day. I think that a lot of times, you know, when the market crashes, what people think is going to happen is that, you know, prices are going to significantly go down. They're going to be able to get $1 million homes at a $500,000 price point. That's all great to think and believe. But if you're waiting on that, you may never be a homeowner because you're waiting on something that's probably never going to happen. I think that when people say that, it's almost coming from a fearful place. Like if you don't really know or you're not educated on this process, you're waiting for this unrealistic thing to happen before you step into home ownership. The market crashing, especially crashing the way that it did in 2008, the likelihood of that happening is very slim. So it's just like learn the market for what it is right now and then figure out how you can put yourself in it versus like telling yourself, I'm waiting for a crash.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Like and it's like it's not really a smart move to be honest, because then that's gonna, you know, like mess up with your value when you're purchasing a home. Like, why would you want that? I feel like that's me. Like, I hate that myth because why would you want the market to crash for you to purchase? It's messing up your value.
Yeah, a lot of people, like, purchasing a home or any, like, piece of property is an investment at the end of the day. So if you're investing in this, why would you want to buy an asset if the value is low when you're purchasing it? Because then how are you making a profit? That doesn't make any sense. Like you said, they're going to be waiting a long time.
They're not gonna let it happen again. I feel like it's not good for business, not good for the government and people that are really in control of that. So they're making sure they're putting rules, regulations in place to make sure that that's not gonna happen again. And that's why it's so hard whenever you go through that process. They have to double check everything. Like the underwriter, they're making sure that doesn't happen again.
And property value is still going up. At the end of the day, like we're not seeing this crazy plummet. Every time, y'all know I love y'all, but I do not do market reports. I lean on these beautiful ladies to see what they say. And every month it's the same thing. The cost of living or the, you know, average median price point in this county has gone up. We're not seeing those drastic drops in the price points. So it's like, what are y'all really waiting for?
Right.
Like,
No,
let's
seriously.
unpack that.
I was almost at that point, but I decided when the market cooled down is when I purchased my house, and I loved it. I got it under asking. Got some closing costs. She fixed everything on that repair sheet. Like, I was like, okay, boom, I love that for me. And I already got 10 to 15K in equity, and so
period.
She is rich.
Period. I'm rich. But no, if it gets to that point where people feel like, oh, the market's going to crash, now y'all going to be hurrying back to the market,
right?
And I'm going to go ahead and put my house on the market,
right?
I'm going to be paying over appraisal. I'm not giving you any closing costs. I'm not fixing anything that you can get out.
Right. Sold as is.
That's how you sure it is. I think when people want, like, say they want the market to crash, they're just hung up on the purchase price.
Right.
Yeah.
But honestly, like, the purchase price doesn't like change your monthly mortgage amount drastically. If we're being honest, it's really like the interest rate. So y'all waiting for the prices to go down, and it's really only affecting you like what, maybe $50?
Yeah, if it goes to like 50,000,
no,
you
that's
pay
true.
$50,000 over to like $25 more on your
right.
It's just not. I think it sounds like so much, but you have to remember that amount stretched over 30 years.
Right.
30
Like,
years.
I don't even want to think about how much money I'm spending in 30 years because that's a very long time. So $10,000 right now today, okay, that's a grip. Like, but $10,000 over 30 years, you're not even gonna remember like where that money went to. Honestly,
yeah. And I feel like the confusion comes from not them understanding the effect of interest rate and the effect of a crash. I feel like when they see that interest rate is going up, they like, oh, the market is crashing. That's not
that's how they are.
They be like, the market. No, it's like interest rate. So you guys have to really learn more about like what the effect of interest rates are. Right. The effect of like home prices actually going down.
And we talked about this on another episode, but like interest rates at 2%, 3%. That is unheard of.
Unrealistic.
Right. So where we are now is more of a norm anyway. I think because we're younger and a lot of our audiences in that first time home market, they're like, well, my friend got it at 3%. Well, your friend bought it at the right time.
You didn't listen.
And now we're just going back to normal times. Like my mom is like, oh, the interest rate is at 6%.
Yeah.
Like,
I think Auntie was like, oh, mine was like 9%.
My brother bought a house in like 2015. His was like 8 or 9%. And he's like, 7%? I'm finna refinance. And I'm like, oh, like, that's horrible.
Think about like if you shopping at a store and you missed the big clearance sale.
Ooh,
you should have hopped in when everybody else was buying it.
Not Black Friday.
No, they got 3% interest rates was a clearance sale for sure.
The big like blowout
sale. Black Friday special.
Now it's gone. You gotta wait. But like you said, River, like you need to think about how to just put yourself in the market now instead of waiting. Yeah. Because none of us know what's going to happen. Like if you wait a year or two, we don't know what it's going to look like. It could be worse than it is now. Just get in where you can. If the rates go down, refinance then, and like you'll be good.
And I can't wait. If they do go down, I'm ready to refinance. I feel like if you can afford it now and you can get approved now, just do it now.
Yeah,
you have the means to do it, then do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I tell my preferred lender, when these rates, I know you wake up every day and do this. When they go down, you call me
immediately.
No, for sure. And I think that's another thing. I'm glad you said that. A lot of people are not buying right now because interest rates are so high. But it's the fact that you might be in this high interest rate for 6 months, and then let's say it does go down. You can literally just refinance and get your 3% like your friend did. Like, it's not that big of a deal, but you're going to wait so long, lose out on gaining equity and a whole bunch of different things because of all these myths, of course, that you really don't know nothing about. So.
Right. Okay, and it's still affordable because even with the rate that I got that's higher, I'm still paying less than what I told my lender I wanted to pay.
I'm still paying less than what I was renting my 1-bedroom apartment for.
Okay.
And you just bought your home how long ago?
What month is it? Oh, I bought it in September.
We're in November, and your equity is already up
there.
In 2 months.
Right.
Oh, look at that. You just made more than what you would have, if you were waiting on
interest rates goes up and down. Like the market opens early in the morning because just one day at the week, this week, it went down, dropped a whole point, like a whole point. So you just never know.
No, I'm just not hearing about it.
Yeah, it went down a whole point, like for 7 in the 7s all the way till 6. So.
Yep, it sure did. But that was on what, Wednesday? That was like Wednesday.
That was Wednesday, middle of the week.
So maybe on Wednesdays. Look, I got a little myth. A lot of people always talk about like 30 years is just so long, and they think that those are the only loan terms. And a lot of people don't realize that you can get a mortgage for a less than 30-year term. You can get a 15-year mortgage.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could do a 10, but I know you don't have to necessarily go 30 full years paying off your mortgage. And I think that's really important to know for people who are trying to pay it off quicker. Some people might buy in a lower price point but can afford much higher and don't mind paying it, you can do that 15-year loan and pay your house off in 50% of the time.
Yeah,
Like a
there's
car
so
in
many,
years.
so many options.
That's really a good point. We're in that age range right now where no one wants to commit.
Yeah,
Y'all got commitment issues.
Y'all got
That's what it
commitment
comes down to.
issues.
But it's like, don't let your lack of commitment or wanting to be in a certain place stop you from buying a home. Because like you said, there's a way for you can still pay that mortgage and then come back and circle back and get that equity out that you otherwise wouldn't have got renting your luxury apartment.
Yeah,
exactly, absolutely.
This is a great
Good
point.
tea, Ashley.
Good
tea.
tip.
I'd be
These
so
were
tired
good,
of hearing
ladies.
them, like, y'all.
y'all done pissed my
No.
girl
Not as much as I'm tired of hearing this last myth.
Okay, I'm scared.
That if you're trying to purchase real estate, you do not need a real estate agent.
The lies.
The lies.
Why?
No, that's some
What's
real
going
stuff.
on?
I have never heard it, and I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
It's like you have a woman going to the hospital saying you don't need a doctor.
Okay,
What's going on?
right.
How
Ain't
does
no
that
real
make
lies.
sense?
because if you're gonna be able to read those contracts and understand those contracts, you're not.
Right.
It's not if you're.
It's
you're
like
not
certain
gonna be able
things
to do
you're
it.
not gonna know.
You don't go
Yeah.
to school without a teacher. Like, come on.
Period.
Okay.
That's just how it is.
I think there's like that one special tip. Like if you're maybe a real estate closing attorney, maybe you don't need a real estate agent, right?
You know.
Maybe you
law.
because
But
you can read your
who's
own
gonna
contract.
sit here and do all the work?
Some people might, and that's what I'm saying. That is probably the only instance I could think of where you don't need a real estate agent. I think, why would you not hire an expert
Right.
to help you make a decision on something you're essentially going to owe hundreds of thousands of dollars for? You don't know what you're doing. I don't even understand why people are reluctant to hire one.
Right.
Yeah. And as a buyer, you're not paying for anything.
Right.
Our
That's the
services are
most
free to
important
you.
part.
Please say that again.
Mostly. I would say as a buyer, like our services are free to you. You're not coming out of pocket to work with an agent, you know?
Yeah, we're literally just here to advise you and to help you and make sure that
Yeah.
you're protected in your purchase.
Right. You don't have to pay like, even if you pay like $100, $200 fee, the most when you're using a buyer's agent, and that's even in some cases.
The value's there. It's
The
worth it.
value is there. You want someone to be advocating for you till the end of that process, and that is a big myth. Do not believe that. You do need it, and if you're looking, you have
no
one,
further.
4 young
two,
ladies here,
3,
ready,
4, experience, knowledgeable,
selling all the houses in
Come on
Atlanta.
now.
And that's period.
right.
I couldn't imagine doing something that I know nothing about and not having somebody holding my hand through that process. Like that
It's
to me
scary.
is the scariest thing. If you
Right.
think about it, as a buyer, how many times do y'all buyers call y'all while you're under contract?
Every day.
Every day.
Every day,
So
every day,
even
every day.
after they still calling. Like, oh girl, the toilet broke. Oh, let me
Yeah.
this the warranty number. I got you the warranty. You got the warranty. Go ahead and get
And
it
they
done.
lose it. Like, can I get the
They'll
warranty number
forget,
again?
Like,
I'm
yeah, you got a warranty. Get it together. Get it together.
Yes, I love that. I love that. So these were all the myths that we know about. That's most common, basically, about real estate. And yes, if you're listening to this podcast, you listen to this episode, then you know those were not true.
We
Well, you know
have what
now.
we did? What
We
we do?
debunked
We
them.
debunked them.
Debunked
She
the
said
myths
unbunked
of real
them.
estate.
Yeah,
We
unbunked.
unbunked them.
We unbunked the myths of real estate today.
Yes.
And if y'all got some more myths, we want to hear them. If some
Right.
things that y'all think are
Yes.
true, we need to know because we need to unpack some of that.
Okay.
Yes. You know what's something else I've heard too is if you are, let's say, approved for like 500,000 and then you purchase a home for 200,000.
Oh yes, Ashley,
Some people
please.
may think like, oh, I can use that extra
The rest of
300
the-
that I didn't use and
yes.
like
Buy
renovate my
another-
home.
yeah.
or do
Forget you.
something.
Some people say I can get that extra 300. And in my head, I'm
It's
thinking
like, why
like,
would they give it
you
to you for
really
free?
think a bank is about to give you a $300,000 check to do what?
To
with
do
it?
Right.
Exactly.
No, immediately no.
It don't work like that.
That was a good one. That was a good
No,
one.
The bank
'Cause
is
people
going to
do
give
think
you what the
like-
home is appraised for. So even if you're approved for $1 million, if you try to buy a house and it's $100,000, congratulations, you just got $100,000.
house.
That is it. That is all.
Yes. And that is toward our end of our episode. We're right before the end because now we're going to have...
Everyone's favorite
A
segment.
realtor bay, Ashley Lorraine.
Oh, okay. She's
Hashtag
introducing
She
herself.
Y'all are so
It's
funny.
it's a new dog.
the question of the day.
So yes, if this is your first time tuning into our podcast, we have this segment called the question of the day where we take questions from our audience because we love hearing from you. So feel free to send us questions on Instagram at Real Talk Atlanta or via email at realtalkatl@gmail.com. So for today's question, y'all know it's the holiday season. So
I love
somebody
the
wanted
holidays.
to know, what are we doing for the holidays? What are our plans?
Traveling.
Yes,
traveling and going home.
What's new?
Resting.
Yes, we going to the MIA, baby.
I was about to say, when you think of holiday season, think about my birthday.
Okay, I'm going to MIA for River's birthday. I'm going to Punta Cana for my
It's sad
birthday.
season.
Capricorn season for me. Period.
Well,
Punta Cana. Jesus was a Capricorn. It's Capricorn. Punta Cana for my birthday, and then I'm just going home to South Carolina. Spend time with family, friends. I'm really just. Like I said, I'm in 2023 right now. So 2022, whatever come.
Yeah.
I feel like people are nicer around the holidays.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
they have no cares in the world.
Right. Me, I'm just like, I'm going to go home, get my low vibrational plate, and that's it.
Oh, I'm going to have many low vibrational plates.
When I say my vibration's going to be low to the flow, and I'm not even playing. I want
the window
on top of each other when I go home. Because I'm not going to go home for Christmas, but we are going to Miami for my birthday. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, that's gonna be
December 4th. You know, I'll send y'all my wish list. But we doing that. I'm going home for Thanksgiving, and my godson, he is turning 8.
Aww,
my baby. But yeah, that's it. Other than that, I'm going to Chicago. I'm gonna go to Miami, and
y'all gonna live it up. Live it up.
You going on a cruise?
Yeah, I'm going on a cruise. I'm possibly going to another. It depends on how busy. My December is planning. A lot of closings in the book.
Period.
That's right.
So, you know, I'm just going to do it by ear. But I think it's going to be a very nice ending to my year, which I'm looking forward to.
I think we deserve it.
Yeah.
We deserve it. We worked hard. We've been consistent.
Period.
Here we are. Real Talk Atlanta is here. And we appreciate you guys.
We made it to the end of the year.
Yeah. We did.
Like, we literally started this with no, like, idea of, like, what was next, what we're doing.
Okay.
Can y'all believe, like, it's December?
Right.
And we still here.
We still here.
It ain't going nowhere.
On the 18th is our 6-month anniversary.
Oh, cheers.
And it's official. We're officially a business. I'm so happy about that.
Oh, yes.
Yes, y'all. We've been doing some real work, operating our business as a business, as we tell y'all.
Yeah.
And Real Talk Atlanta, we got some stuff coming for y'all. So
Stay tuned.
Ready. You're not
Put your
ready for
seatbelt on.
us next year.
If you love us now, you're going to really love us.
I was going to also say thank you for our sponsor of this episode.
Oh, yes,
Yes.
of course. As always, Tiffany, we love her. We obsessed with her. She's amazing.
Literally. If
Shout
you
out to
haven't
the
seen the
Hawes Law
episode, she
Firm.
just was on last week.
Make
y'all
sure
need
you
to tune in. Like,
Exactly.
Gems were drops as every episode, but that one had like
super gems.
Gems.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of gems. Shout out to the Hawes Law Firm.
Period.
Put 'em
Your
on your
favorite
contract.
closing attorney. Put them on your
So
contract.
buyers, when you debunk all these myths and you're ready to get to the closing table, be sure to put Tiffany Hawes on your law firm.
yes.
Yes.
On your law firm, on your contract.
Thank you guys again for watching and tuning into our episode. We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.
Bye.